In this lesson, I just want to tie up a few loose ends with the short stick. So, pattern number 1 and pattern number 2 complement each other because pattern number 2 defends pattern number 1. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but now that you've learned both short stick patterns, pattern number 2 is the defense to the attacks from pattern number 1. So pattern number 1, when you did the 45 downward strike this way, this is the defense against that strike. When you came around and did the inward 45 downward strike this way, this is the defense against that strike. So you went this way, you went out, then you struck down at the knees this way. We block, and then we come down. We do the low block. Then we bring it across and do the low block on the other side. Then you came down on top with the downward strike. We go with the high block to defend against it. And then finally, you did the front thrust, and we use downward block to push it down, defend against it. So, short stick pattern number 2 is the defense against short stick pattern number 1. So, if you're ever practicing those with a partner, and I recommend to go easy if you're using real short sticks, go easy on each other, but if you're practicing with a partner, one partner can do pattern number 1, and the other partner can do pattern number 2 and defend it. And then you can take turns back and forth. So that is the relationship between those two patterns. A few other things I wanted to point out with the short stick is, again, with the cord. If you have the cord, it provides a few key advantages. So not only does it keep the weapon in your hand and make it more difficult for somebody to disarm you, it allows you to add more snap on your strikes because you can build up tension in the cord and use that to increase the amount of snap that you have on your techniques. But in addition to that, you can also use the cord as a weapon. So I mentioned before that, we can strike with the tip of the short stick, and we can strike with the butt end of the short stick, and we can have two hands on the weapon. You can also grab backwards and use the cord as a whip. And you're going to think, well, doesn't that seem kind of silly? There's no way this is going to do any damage. But you can also put a very small weight on the back of the cord. So you can have, like a metal bolt or something here that adds a little bit of weight to that cord at the back end. And when you use that and whip somebody with that, and you've got a weight on there, that can do a lot of damage. And again, the short stick is still the main weapon, but the cord can be used to distract your opponent and keep them away, and it can be a nuisance weapon. And of course, you don't want to get hit in the eye or get hit in the face if there's some weights attached to the end of that cord. So that is possible. Some people will do that with the short stick. The other thing is, when you're holding it like this, you can also use this for ranged attacks. So I can treat this as if it was one end of a nunchaku, and I can use this to get extra reach, extra distance, and attack like this, and clear space, and come around like this and attack at my opponent as if I had a nunchaku in my hand, even though I don't, and then very quickly come back to here. So it's very, very easy with the cord to allow the weapon to drop out of your hand this way and strike at range with the weapon, and then very quickly bring it back in so you don't lose control of it. So again, whether you're using the cord and you have some weights attached to the cord and you're whipping with the cord, or whether you're holding the cord, pinch it in between your fingers, and then attack long with the short stick, as if it was nunchaku. Those are a few more attack options with the short stick that are possible that I wanted to mention in previous lessons. So, till the next lesson.